Oh, son. Good morning. Woogie's back. What's up, people? All right, so, oh shit, where's the billet Baja? I sold it, guys. I didn't want to do it anymore. It was frustrating me, and I'm just done, man. I'm thinking that I want to go E-word. I'm gonna keep one nitro that I want. We're gonna sell the 5B, and we're gonna go E-word, people. All E-word, felonies, infractions, E-word primal, all that stuff. So all that work on the Baja for nothing. Oh wait, nah, that's not what really happened, people. Here it is. Damn, that must have been a bad dream, people. A really bad dream. Woogie ain't going E-word. I love E-word. Want to build a badass XTE TLR E-truggy speed run. But this is what we got right here. One bad bitch. So I worked really hard at this. Didn't have too many hiccups. Here and there, you know, little things that I didn't know. I've never built one of these before. You know, I've tinkered around with the other one, and this one was a complete build from scratch. Everything from the chassis all the way up, man. So obviously it was a little bit of a learning curve. You know, little things like here, getting the toe in and out on it, or the camber in and out on it here. You know, nothing here ever gives you any type of instruction, so you have to figure everything out, from which way do the hinge pins go, and you know, it's just trial and error, and for the most part everything went together pretty seamlessly. But you know, here you have some adjustments. You shim it out in order to get the proper camber, and you know, we got all our endpoints set. We're going to show you that. We did get, this is a 34 modified engine. It's not a reed case. Got all new gaskets. We put the billet intake, you know, the insulator, whatever the hell it's called. Took the composite one out. Swapped out the carburetor. We'll go over the carburetors here in a few minutes. Put the beautiful glory hole on there, and carburetor, we got rid of it had a choke carburetor, 1107, which is a okay carburetor from what I've seen out there. But this is the bearing modded 990 with the spiral diaphragm upgrade in it, so she's ready to go. Was having a little issue with the black bone bell, clutch bell. It was rubbing on the inside of the Turtle Racing what do you call it, clutch carrier here, Turtle Racing clutch carrier. So we did end up having to go with the Turtle Racing bell, and I think I probably could have shimmed it, but I didn't want to get everything together and then have to pull it apart. We'll work on that later on. And ended up having to go with a 17 Black Magic gear, the one for the Turtle Racing. But it's okay. I mean, I've got those parts. We can go ahead and see what we can do about that. But I don't, it was rubbing on the face of it and it was binding, so it was just no good. We also did a clutch spring swap out. This engine came with a clutch. It came with a 6,000 clutch, and we swapped it out for an 8,000 clutch. So we did all that, made everything tight and right, did all of our torque specs on it. I've got all those torque specs written down too. So the deanodization of the, you can still see a little bit right there, the deanodization of the orange A-arms, it came out pretty good. They're not as bling blingy as just as they would come silver anodized or deanodized, however they come from the factory, but good enough, man. I mean, it looks good for deanodization. And I think there's I'll put a clip in here of what I use to deanodize these things. It took me about 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes, people, something like that. So you just got to do it real good, then you got to clean them real good, and you got to polish them up real good. And I did make a couple of boo-boos. I accidentally put a little mar right here in this aluminum, but she's going to get beat up a little bit. And the same thing on the A-arm here, a little bit here and here. And that's just trying to get bolts in, nuts and bolts in after the fact. There's a little bit of orange still on there right there, but not much, man, very little. Got our IRP turnbuckles in, got everything locked. I did Loctite these down, so we'll probably find a way to maybe get some spacers in there. We'll see how the Loctite goes. I used red Loctite to make sure they didn't back out. We got everything adjusted, all of our endpoints and everything. Seems pretty good. Loctite works well if you let it dry. You got to let that stuff dry, cure overnight, and that's what we did. So you're probably wondering the engine. I do have another engine that's being built, and it's going to take about a month and a half or so. But I also wanted to stay true to a budget build. This is a budget build, believe it or not. Expensive budget build. You're still going to pay some change, you know. You're still going to pay a little bit with this. But DDM has ESP modified engines. This engine is a 34 modified. I believe it has a 2mm stroker and a modified head is what it claims. So this is a modified 34. They're supposed to be pretty badass, so we'll compare it. I want to compare this to the OBR 34 modded reed case and see what it's all about. But true to a budget build, this was a $399 engine. It is a Zenoa. ESP stands for Earth Surfer Products, I think, something like that. But they have them at DDM, and I got it in 2 days. So we're going to break this in. We're going to see how well this is from a budget standpoint. I mean, the other engine that I'm buying is all in probably about $1,000. So this is a little more than a quarter of the price. This is about 400 bucks here compared to $1,000. So, and it's modified. So let's see what it does. Okay, let's see what it does. But we got all new gaskets in here. I didn't have one of the insulator gaskets, so I had to make one. So we'll see how that works out. Should be fine. Everything got all the holes put in the proper places. Everything lined up and shaved down well. Yeah, and the steering is good. The endpoints. Let me get my radio. We'll check these endpoints real quick. See how we did on that, and then we're gonna actually do a first fire today. The weather is overcast. It's God, man, it's like it's been raining for 40 days and 40 nights. I'm waiting for the freaking arc to fall out of the sky. Everything is all muddy. And there must be something dead over there. I don't know what the hell that is eating over there. Is that a freaking, probably a buzzard? Something. Look like a damn pheasant. Alright, so a lot of guys ask me what radios I use. This is my Futaba 4PLS. It's a great radio. It'll hook up to all your Futaba receivers. I actually use this 4PLS for my 2 fifth scales, and then you know that I use my Futaba 4K R or SR Super Response, which is a badass radio. You can get good radios, good quality radios. You don't have to settle for starter or entry level like the Spectrums, DX5C and all that. Just look around, man. You can find radios inexpensive. I paid $125 for this and 2 receivers. You know, talk to your local hobby shop owners, people. So, speaking of local hobby shops, shout out RCHQ. Always enjoying the lives on the Mini Z races and all that, the oval races. Shout out to Mark Santa Maria for coming to our little hobby shop and giving us props and racing with you and Ethan, and racing with Elliot and Ethan the Great Martinez, or the champ, Ethan the Champ Martinez. Alright, so let's get this thing fired up real quick. Not fired up, but let's get so you see that when I turn it on, my kill switch is activated. We did install the kill switch as well. We installed the MSD wire, did everything the right way, torqued down our coil bolts to 50 inch-pounds. I did use blue Loctite on that. Red. I used blue Loctite on that, and we do use the DDM gap tool. Use the proper tools. Don't use a business card. So, you know, you loosen it, you put the gap tool in there, you put it under the magnet, and you let it suck it down. Then you snug it up from there. That'll give you the perfect gap. So let's see here at our perfect. Perfect endpoints. Doesn't move when you. Well, the spring's probably a little tight because it's kicking back a little. We'll fix that. But when you pull the trigger all the way, it should just tap. You don't want it to keep pulling on your servo. Set your endpoints correctly. And when you hit the brake, you don't want it to move. It's rocking a little bit, but that's because my spring is too tight. We'll fix that right now. So, but the main thing is it's not kicking it back further to where the throttle is staying open. Steering. Do this. So much better than that plastic setup, people. Turtle Racing. This is the version 2. It's got the little bars right there that are holding it. But the steering is so much better. This thing should turn on a dime. Alright guys, so let me take a break from the walk around here. Oh, we did use copper gasket. Cleaned everything up. We used copper gasket. 40mm copper gasket from DDM. Those are the only exhaust gaskets that I will use from now on. I'll never use paper gaskets again for my exhaust. And then I am using the copper RTV. Let that cure overnight as well. Alright guys, give me a few minutes. Oh, wait, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. So we also have our We have the Roven chassis protector down here. Did away with the body clip that it had, a little pin and a body clip, and I just put a little washer and a nut. That way it's not flopping around and it's more secure. Did my adjustments here on the camber here on the rear as well. Same thing, red Loctite, tightened them down, but I do want to get the tubes in there. Probably going to go with little carbon fiber tubes, 6mm. Shout out Jersey Jason. All that little information here and there helped me in this build, man, from several different people. You know, a lot of people told me, go with this, get this engine, SRC Customs, this, that, you know. That's cool, and I want to experience all that, but I want to get this thing fired up, and I truly wanted this to be a budget build. So we're going to put a badass engine in here, and this may be a badass engine right here. We don't know. We're going to try. We're going to break it in, and we're going to put it through the paces. So, you know, everybody tells you do this, do this, do that. Just stay true to what you're doing. Don't deviate. If you're going to build a budget build a budget build. But this is the best damn budget build that I could have come up with right here. It's a mix between RC Max, Turtle Racing, Roven, Bonehead RC, you name it, it's in here, man. Fat Dad, everything involved. VRC, Victory Racing, IRC, turnbuckles, FLM, drive cups, and heavy duty drive shafts, hostile rear hubs. We're going to put a list together of everything that I use for this budget build, and I'm going to tell y'all everything that I paid for this, the entire build and what I paid. And I'll try and put that in at the end of the video so you guys know. So also our front skid plate, y'all knew about all that. The only thing I don't have on yet is my front sway bar, but this this front skid plate, this is the Scorpion V2 with the Roven skid plate. Look at that beautiful chassis, people. And there's your protector down there. And then I also wanted to get some different tires for this. All right, guys, give me a few minutes and we'll get this thing fired up. First fire on the ESP modded 34cc. It's actually a Zenoa 32 modded by ESP to a 34cc. All right, I'm anxious. Let's do it. We'll see y'all in a few minutes. All right, let's do it. Let's give her her first drink, first fire. We're gonna do a couple of 15-minute idle takes, probably 2 or 3 heat cycles, and then we're gonna start running her in. I don't know if we'll get her on the ground today, but we'll definitely do a first fire, make sure everything's sealed up good on our carburetor, and you know, no air leaks, nothing like that. Because I mean, although I've done it many times on first the Roven, that's the thing too, guys, man. If you want to get into fifth scale, buy the $600 Roven, buy the $1,000 Roven that comes complete, upgrade a few things, use that to learn on, man. That was the smartest thing that I ever could have done, man. It schooled me so much, and you know, a lot of people helped me along the way, but this guy right here, you know, you can go back on any of his videos and find out anything about fifth scale, man. I mean, look how detailed. If you want to learn something, anything from bolt specs to, you know, inch foot pounds for your carburetor, your exhaust, you know, all that stuff, you know, I learned from this channel. Look, there's the 40mm copper gasket. I don't even use the paper ones anymore. I use the copper ones. So just anything and everything, guys, and just watch who you learn from. Watch, you know, don't just listen to anybody and everybody. Research it, man. I've been researching fifth scale ever since I got the first Roven, and if I need something, I go back on, and not just his videos, there's other people out there. You go back and you look at a video, you stop it, you pause it. These parts, all this stuff doesn't, look at the list of stuff, man. This is the list of people that's going to be going in this video. And not people, these are companies and parts. These are all the parts involved in this build right here. All of them. Modified RC, FLM, IRC, Turtle Racing, Fat Dad, Rovin, ESP, Bonehead, RC Screws, Hostile, MSD, Victory, Savox, TGN, Avid Bearings, RCR Brakes, Blackbone Gears, Full Force, Fuel Kit, Outerwear, Bartolone, RC Max, Amsoil, NGK, Detroit Performance, DDM. I mean, the list goes on, and we're going to tell y'all what this costs as well. So enough yip yap. Let's get the first drink in her, and let's get her fired up, man. Let's get her fired up and see what this ESP is going to be all about, man. Always shake your mix, people. Shake your mix. Oh, exciting stuff. Oh, that's another thing. Walboro, got a brand new Walboro filter in there. They call it the clunky clunk. I need to mix up another batch. Ah, shit. Hate it when I do that. Right.
Once you use them, they're done. Likely, if you remove it, they'll rip or they'll be crushed, and you won't have a good seal when you reuse them. So that's what we do next. That's why it's such a good one.
Work clean, guys. I know you're gonna have stuff all over the place when you do your build, but when you get done, I mean, y'all saw the post and the pictures. I had shit everywhere, man. But work clean, man. Clean your tools up when you're done. Put everything up. I've seen some people that are trying to sell modified engines and stuff, and I don't even think they could find their freaking ass from their head on their workbench. There's so much shit just everywhere. Badass brand new pistons and parts just on tools on top of them and pushed around. It's crazy. I couldn't do that, man. It's too easy to damage those beautiful parts like that. Work in a clean environment, in a orderly environment. I'm OCD like that, man. All right, give me a few minutes and we're gonna do a first fire. That's right there. Fast Daddy is the best dog bone and transmission grease for RC applications. Right there, the best. It's better than Bartolone. I'm using both. I've used both. It's definitely more tacky than Lucas Red and Tacky. Get Fast Daddy grease, guys. It's not going to be around forever. Get it while you can. Yes, it's 18 bucks for this, but it goes a long way, people. It's extremely tacky. All right, guys, that's it. Give me a few minutes and we'll get this thing squared away, man. See y'all in a minute. All right, guys, so we're just going to open it up a little bit. We're gonna open the idle up a little bit with this idle screw. So you don't want to just push in on it. You don't want to just turn it like that. You want to pull the hammer down a little bit so it's not damaging it in any way, and then let it go. See where you're at, because if you're just turning it just turning it like this, right? Turning it, it's pushing in on it, and it's damaging, it's wallowing out, it's damaging the bearing, it's damaging everything. So pull down on it and then turn it and tighten it, right? I learned that from that dude as well. So we turn the idle up some. Let's see how she works, right? Let's give it another fire. See if she stays running.
Dinner took longer than the bill. We're almost there.
Oh, shit. Once it heats up, the idle will probably raise. Look right there. I need to fix that seal. We're not going to have that oil all over the place. See where it's open? I didn't catch that. The seal's up too high on the pipe. Not down on the header enough, and then we need to get a hose clamp to clamp it shut so it's not leaking that oil everywhere. Not leaking from there, it's leaking from the grommet. Alright guys, we're going to let that run a little bit. I'll clean that up, and I'll check back with y'all, man. I'm stoked. First fire, man. First fire, there it is. All right, guys, we'll go over all this, and I'll be back in a few minutes. All right, guys, this is another barn on my property. Let's see if we can find. This one is a mess. Let's see if we can find a hose clamp that'll fit that exhaust. I know where there's some are over here. Let's see what we got. Bolts. I know we got some hose clamps here. There we go. That one too small, you think? Probably this one, right? We can polish it up. Take both of these. So we got a little bit of everything in here. We do live at the lake, got a lot of fishing poles, and just about a little bit of everything for everything. We do have a 68 Volkswagen, so this is all Volkswagen parts over here. All Volkswagen goodies. Granddad's Volkswagen. So a lot of prayers going out for Granddad, people. He's back in the hospital, going through rehab, having a hard time walking. He's 84. And if you could say a prayer for him, say a prayer for him. But let's go over and check out, show you all the bug real quick, and then we'll get back to this thing. We'll get one of these on. If we use this one, I'm going to polish it up a little bit, make it look nice. So we'll be back here in a few minutes, guys. Alright. So we've been doing a little bit of power washing over here. It's been getting kind of slick. Wooden walkway there. Let's take a look. I don't know. I'll just show you guys the outside. I don't have the keys. It's probably locked. There it is. She's a beauty. $1968. Got all silver shag. The interior is perfect. Silver shag. Alright guys, just wanted to show you all that real quick. Alright, let's get back to it. Fire this thing back up. We'll be back in a sec.
Put this in.
Alright, we back.
See that? It's nice, the T-handle version of it. That way you can get a nice.
This is the whole Primal series. See what else is out there. Not much. Got Jeff from Eastside RC, Sunday Service. I do watch that every now and then. I'm not a religious man, but I am a righteous man. I try to do the right thing and treat people right. Alright, we'll come back to all this. Let's, oh no, more Red Bull. Get a little water. And fire this girl back up. You know what? I have one right here. Alright, let's see where we're at. I went ahead and put the hose clamps on, put 2 of them. This one is not as tight as I would have liked it to get, but it's pretty good. We're gonna have to clean all this up. Nobody wants oil everywhere, people. Alright, let's get her fired back up. Hang tight. Power on. Power on. Make sure your kill switch. A lot of people, they don't make sure their kill switch is on. They pull and pull until they figure it out, and then it's flooded. So let me for a sec. Fire it up. Because we brought the idle up, let's bring the idle back down now. We'll let her idle for 15 minutes. Doesn't look like there's any more blow by. Nice and rich. Just a little bit. go. We're gonna let her run for a bit. Then we'll do a couple of more. I might do a little nitro in a little bit. It's kind of hard, man. One day off, people. So I appreciate y'all going with me on this journey. I'm 100% satisfied with this budget Baja billet build. Got all the right parts to be durable, yet look badass. I think we're good, people. Alright guys, we'll be back in a minute. Alright, let's see if she's leaking any oil from this seal. None. Looks good. Everything's still tight tonight. Alright guys. Alright, so that's been 15 minutes. We're gonna let her cool down, some heat cycles, and yeah, everything looks good. We'll get some more some stainless, you know, a little bit shinier hose clamps. We'll fix that, make it look a little nicer, but there's no oil leakage anymore. I tightened it up. I actually moved the grommet down and then put the hose clamps on, but everything else seems good. I mean, we're gonna have to really run it to determine whether or not I have anything back out, but I go a little overboard on the red Loctite. Red Loctite, if you heat it up, it will break loose, but you definitely want to heat it up or you'll strip the bolts. All right guys, everything looks good, man. I'm thinking that this ESP budget modified engine, $400 modified engine, is going to be just fine. So at least until we get the other one and we can play with this one and we can compare it to the OBR 34 mod reed case, and we're gonna be getting some different pipes and things like that. So stay tuned. We'll try and get some nitro stuff. I'm not sure if I'll get any in today, if I get a wild hair or not. I've only got really one platform ready to go, which is this bad girl right here, the MBX6 with the Novarossi and the Hypex setup. And I was wrong. Shout out Nitro Mike, man. Great live feeds. Keep doing what you do. I was wrong, and I said that it was the Reds setup on here, the 2143 and the 41001 Nova header. It's not. It's the complete Reds package here with the medium header, the high torque setup on that LRP. So yeah, you were right, that was the full Reds. The 41001 I was running with the Hypex on the modified Novarossi Bonito. So all right guys, you guys that are just bashers, man, if you know, you want a badass nitro engine, get you a brand new engine, send it over to RCR, get it drag modified. It will be very powerful. You just couple it up with the right pipe, the right header, and it'll be a badass. I mean, all in guys, you spend probably $300 on an engine. Modification with shipping and everything's gonna run you about $160. So 460, under $500, you will have a badass modified engine. So for you bashers, racers, whole different story. The type of engines they have out nowadays, the performance and the output on them is tremendous. For racing, that linear power, you really don't need modified. You really don't need to do modifications for fuel efficiency and top end power anymore. These high dollar engines, these $600 engines, are gonna come basically set up for racing. And then you can determine, you know, what engine you need for what track. If you have a large track, you know, and I'm not a racer, I don't know, but this is just common sense and things that I've learned through the past from Rajay and other people, man. If you have a large track, then, you know, a 7-port is good. But if you have a smaller track to where you need a lot more bottom end power rather than top end, then go with a 5-port or a 3-port. That's going to be better. So, all right, guys, but I don't know nothing about racing, so don't listen to me. There is some common sense involved in this as well. But right now, man, we're diving into fifth scale, getting some things done. I appreciate everybody's help. I'll put this list of products that I used and the total cost of the budget build in this video. And we may see you guys in a little bit. We may not, man. I can't wait to get this out in the field and rip it. Peace.